The top stories tonight in Y News. The Department of Justice discloses that the sunken empty Princess Empress oil tanker is a rebuild and scrap vessel.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez turns over the leave of absence request of Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. to the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges.
The Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes wraps up hearing on charter change today.
And South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol visits Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida to restore ties.
Good evening, Philippines and the world. Today is Thursday, the 16th of March, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. I am William Theo.
We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Hardy Delgado.
The Department of Justice, or DOJ, disclosed that the sunken empty Princess Empress oil tanker is a rebuild and scrap vessel. Dante Amento has the story.
Department of Justice, or DOJ Secretary Crispin Rimulya, said that based on the information they gathered, the sunken oil tanker empty Princess Empress is a very old vessel.
Itong barkong ito ay hindi brand new vessel. It is rebuilt scrap ship na dalawang beses ni-rebuild para maging tanker. It was not built to be a tanker from the very beginning.
This is contrary to what has been presented by the company of the ship to the Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG.
The first representations to the Coast Guard was that it was a 2-year-old vessel, brand new, so to speak, by Philippine standards. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi pala siya bago. Mayroon misrepresentation sa sinimulat sa pool nung nangyari itong kasong ito.
Rimulya added the vessel was not originally designed as an oil tanker.
Unang nirebuild para maging LPG carrier, tapos nirebuild na naman, pinahaba para maging tanker.
There is a person who executed an affidavit that knows the details before the incident occurred, but the DOJ refused to divulge the identity of the person.
May affidavit na kami hawak ng isang taong nakakaalam ng pangyayari tungkol sa barkong ito na may alam talaga kung paano nagsimula ang lahat.
For now, the DOJ and other government agencies are doing a case build-up to determine the possible liability such as of the owner of the vessel. Rimulya assures that criminal cases would be filed after validation of the reports they received. The DOJ met with the National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, Department of Health, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, or DENR, among others, today to discuss the next steps in connection to the investigation of the incident. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Philippine Coast Guard, or PCG, collects 700 to 1,500 liters of oil per day from the site where the empty Princess Empress sank off the coast of Negros Oriental, Mindoro. The Coast Guard observed that the sunken ship was found continuously spilling 10 to 20 liters of oil per hour. There is no change in the wind direction, so the oil coming from the sunken empty Princess Empress is still going in the direction of the town of Pola. Earlier today, March 16, the PCG, along with the Japanese Coast Guard, went to the place where the ship sank. PCG shows how they do the processes to remove oil.
House Speaker Martin Romualdez said that he will turn over the leave of absence request of Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnolfo Teves Jr. to the House Committee on Ethics and Privileges. Eileen Cerudo will tell us why.
The House Committee on Ethics has the jurisdiction on the case of Negros Oriental 3rd District Representative Arnulfo Teves Jr., according to House Speaker Martin Romualdez. In a statement, the House Speaker said that he will act accordingly after the committee submits its recommendation. The House panel has yet to decide whether to approve or deny the request of Congressman Teves for a 2-month leave of absence. House Speaker Romualdez also said he had a private meeting with the lawmakers' legal counsel where they addressed the concerns of Teves regarding his safety. Teves, in the submitted leave of absence request, said that he and his family are facing a grave security threat, preventing him to return to the Philippines. Romualdez, however, reiterates his plea and has urged Congressman Teves to reconsider his decision not to return. According to the House Speaker, it does not sit well for a House member to flee the country. Several lawmakers have called on Teves to return to the Philippines and face the allegations against him. The Secretary General of the lower chamber, Reginald Velasco, also confirmed that they already received the said request. He will also let the Ethics Committee to decide on the leave of absence request and any other request of Congressman Teves. Ethics Committee Chair and Co-op NATCO Party List Representative Filimon Espares has yet to decide and comment on the issue. Yesterday, March 15, the House panel gave Teves 5 days to respond or return to the Philippines after his expired travel authority clearance. Eileen Cerudo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Criminal Investigation and Detection Group National Capital Region Chief and 12 other personnel have been relieved from their posts in connection with the alleged extortion activities on March 13. Leia Ilagan will tell us why.
Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group or PNP CIDG Director, Police Brigadier General Romeo Karamat orders the relief of 10 police non-commissioned officers and 3 police commissioned officers, including the Chief of CIDG National Capital Region, Police Colonel Hansel Marantan. This is in connection to the alleged extortion on the group of 13 arrested Chinese businessmen in Parañaque last March 13. The said Chinese nationals were caught playing mahjong, but instead of filing a case, PNP Deputy Chief for Administration, Police Lieutenant General Rodel Sermonia said the operatives asked money in exchange for the release of the arrested Chinese nationals.
Kung hinuli man nila to at kung may mga violation, dapat kinasuhan agad-agad. Then, it involves talaga yung mga mamahaling gamit and big amount of money.
Aside from that, the CIDG NCR operatives also confiscated the vault with 3 million peso cash, 2 luxury watches, and a luxury bag.
Based on records, sa mga nakakuha ay may pera sa vault. Meron din na nakuha na mga relo, isang Patek Philippe at saka isang Richard Mille, kung kilala niyo yung relo na yon. At saka may bag din na Louis Vuitton and yun yung mga nakuha sa bahay at saka mga alahas.
Okay. So yung debt amount, how much po?
Ang sabi ng complainant, 3 million.
The PNP readies the filing of charges once the involvement of the said operatives in extortion activities are proven. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, filed a 25.5 billion pesos tax evasion complaint before the Department of Justice, or DOJ, Thursday morning, March 16. The respondents are 4 ghost corporations selling receipts for fake transactions. BIR Commissioner Romeo Lumagi Jr. led the filing of the complaint. Lumagi warned corporations that indulge in such operations to face criminal cases.
Ang mga bumibili dito, ang mga negosyante na ginagamit itong resibo nito as corresponding deduction sa kanilang expenses at saka sa VAT. Kaya po seryoso tayo na habulin ito.
And for our news abroad, The oil drilling project in Alaska, which has received the approval of the United States government, will be facing a lawsuit. Paul Gatchalian explains why live. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Giona. The lawsuit filed by 6 environmental groups in the District Court of the United States argues that the oil drilling project will pose an environmental threat, as it is expected to emit 239 million metric tons of carbon emissions in the coming 30 years. Multiple laws, including the National Environmental Policy Act and Endangered Species Act, are claimed to be broken if the Interior Departments and other parties authorize the drilling project. One of the lawsuit's complainants, Mike Scott from the Sierra Club, stated that if the ConocoPhillips oil and gas Willow project were allowed, they would pose as a threat to wildlife, ecosystems, and communities of the Arctic Alaska. The executive director of the sovereign Inupiat group, Sikainik Mupin, also expressed that their community has to face court once more to protect their lives, communities, and future, insisting that the Willow project makes no sense. The environmental groups are demanding U.S. President Joe Biden, who promised during his campaign not to approve of new oil and gas projects on public land, to halt the project. Meanwhile, defenders of the project, like Alaska lawmakers, have vowed for the approval, stating that it would provide jobs and help the U.S. energy independence, producing 180,000 barrels per day, which over 30 years equates to 576 million barrels. Back to you, Joanna.
Thank you, Paul, for that live report. An emergency parachute system saved the lives of 6 people, including a child and a newborn baby, after an engine failure in Brazil. Monica Canlas explains why.
Last Saturday, 11th of March 2023, 5 minutes after the takeoff, the Series SR-22 aircraft from the Pampulha Airport in Belo Horizonte in the southeastern state of Minas Gerais, an unexpected engine failure occurred. The pilot deployed a Series Airframe Parachute System, or CAPS, a whole plane parachute recovery system that saved 6 people on board, including a child and a newborn baby. In the pilot's audio report, everything was normal until the engine lost power from 80% to 30% and vibrated a lot. The pilot restarted the gasoline pump and switched fuel supply from tanks to engine without success, therefore decided to turn around to return to the capital. Despite the near disaster, the single-engine American-made jet was recorded in a smooth descent and no one was injured. However, they left the place on foot as the Archangel helicopter Airbus H125 of the Minas Gerais Fire Department could not land due to difficult access. The Series Airframe Parachute System, or CAPS, has aided in aviation accidents across the world, and a month ago it prevented another crash in Brazil. Monica Canlas, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
We'll share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Giona. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. made a visit to Camarines Sur to present several initiatives which are aimed to benefit a significant number of Bicolanos. Part of the launch is the inauguration of the Kadiwa ng Pangulo outlet located in the municipality of Pili. Alan Manansala will tell us why.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. expressed confidence that his promise of providing rice at 20 pesos per kilogram in the country is now within reach. In his speech during the unveiling of the Kadiwa outlet in Camarines Sur province, the president announced his objective to expand and multiply the Kadiwa outlets to lower the cost of agricultural products, particularly rice.
Lumampas na tayo sa 500 kadiwa sa buong Pilipinas. Kaya't marami tayong maganda at nagiging resulta. Makikita ninyo, bigas, yung aking pangarap na sinabi na nung bago akong upo na sana mapababa natin ang presyo ng bigas ng 20 piso. Doon, dahan-dahan palapit, nasa 25 piso na lang tayo.
Simultaneous to the Kadiwa outlet launch, PBBM also led the distribution of 826.1 million pesos worth of assistance to the Department of Agriculture for Bicolano farmers. Included in the assistance program is an allocation of 584.8 million worth of fertilizer discount voucher that will be granted to 121,658 rice farmers in the region, while 67.6 million pesos worth of rice financial assistance will be allotted to 13,529 rice farmers, wherein 1,500 of them will receive 5,000 RFFA. In the afternoon, PBBM attended the groundbreaking ceremony of the Pambansang Pabahay para sa mga Pilipino Housing or 4PH project in Naga City. The construction of more than 10,000 housing units is anticipated to take place on a 6-hectare land area to cater the housing needs of Bicolanos who require affordable housing. This housing project will specifically benefit the informal settlers and Bicolanos residing in danger zone areas. According to the President, the administration is exploring the possibility of utilizing vacant lots to expand the 4PH housing project. The Marcos administration targets to build 1 million housing unit every year until 2028.
Pinag-aaralan din natin kung paano natin mapupondohan ng sapat ang mga proyektong kagaya nito. Tinitignan pa natin ang posibilidad na paggamit ng mga bakanteng lupa ng Estado upang palawigin ang programang pabahay.
Meanwhile, a resolution declaring President Bongbong Marcos Jr. an adopted son of the province of Camarines Sur has been approved by the Camarines Sur Provincial Council. Camarines Sur is the hometown of former Vice President Leni Robredo, who was the toughest competition of PBBM during his 2022 presidential bid. Alan Manansala, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Senate panel leading the discussions on the proposed amendments to the economic provisions of the Constitution has wrapped up its public consultative hearings. Meanwhile, the committee's head, Senator Robin Padilla, wants lawmakers in the House of Representatives to personally make their pitch to senators of their version of the proposed charter change. Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
The Senate Committee on Constitutional Amendments and Revision of Codes has ended its public consultative hearing on the proposal to amend the 1987 Constitution. The last leg of the public hearing was conducted in Cebu City today, attended by local government officials and representatives from various sectors. Senator Robin Padilla, who chairs the committee, maintains the amendments to the charter should be limited to economic provisions to allow more foreign direct investments. However, during the hearing, former Socio-Economic Planning Secretary Ernesto Pernia says the economic measures passed during the previous Congress should be first supported and implemented before amending the Constitution. One of these is the amended Public Service Act signed last year, which up to now remains unenforced as its implementing rules and regulations has yet to be released.
Dapat i-implement na yun kaagad. We should have a sense of urgency kasi naiwanan na tayo.
Pernia adds the country should wait for the effects of joining the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership or RCEP agreement.
Kailangan i-push rin yun kasi malaki ang makuha natin dyan sa sa trade agreement among these countries in the RCEP. So, unahin natin yun, and then I think maybe in company or even maybe we can postpone the CONAS later
Padilla is confident that his version of charter change or CHA-CHA via Constituent Assembly or CONAS will hurdle the committee level up to the plenary. However, as to how many senators will support the proposal is a different story. Earlier, Senate President Juan Miguel Migzubiri said they cannot dance to CHA-CHA as the Senate do not have the numbers to support the measure. The House of Representatives is also dancing to a different tune of CHA-CHA. The lower chamber is proposing a hybrid constitutional convention or CONCON as a mode of amending the charter. That is why Padilla wants congressmen to present to senators their own version of CHA-CHA.
Kung pag-uusapan po natin ang CONCON dadaling sa Senado, yan ay ipapataw natin ang responsibilidad niyan sa mga taga-House. Kaya po inimbita natin sila na pumunta po dun sa Lunes. At sila ang mag-present nito sa mga senador.
The senator's office confirms that Padilla's counterpart, Cagayan de Oro 2nd District Representative Rufus Rodriguez and Leyte 4th District Representative Richard Gomez will attend the hearing. Jorlene Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Discounted fare among public utility vehicles may begin April, according to the Department of Transportation. However, not all routes might be included due to limited budget for the service contracting program. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board or LTFRB is now conducting a study on the guidelines in the implementation of Service Contracting Program or SCP this year, which has a budget of 1.2 billion pesos. In a separate interview earlier this morning, March 16, Department of Transportation Undersecretary Mark Steven Pastor said the program may begin by April. Under the SCP, the recommended fare discount for passengers of public utility vehicles will also be included.
Sa ngayon po ay pina-finalize pa po kung ano yung mga parameters na gagamit. Yung fare discount na yon, kung sakaling ito ang matuloy, yung discount, yun po yung babayaran ng budget ng service contracting programs.
Technical Division Head of LTFRB Joel Bolano explains that Department of Transportation Secretary Jaime Bautista recommends to subsidize passengers' fare to revert from pre-pandemic amount. This would cut the 12 peso minimum fare on traditional jeepneys into 9 pesos, while 11 pesos is the projected discounted fare for modern jeepneys from its minimum fare of 14 pesos. There will be fare discount also among UV Express and bus. However, the LTFRB clarified that not all routes of PUVs will be covered under the program due to limited funds, which is estimated to last for only 6 months. LTFRB said among their parameters will be routes which have high volume of passengers.
Identification is based doon sa taas ng demand ng ruta. So, kailangan yung route na ma-identify ay mataas yung ridership, kumbaga, mataas yung demand. Kaya tama po na selected routes yan.
The regulatory board may use devices to monitor the number of passengers which will receive discounted fare. This will be the basis of the LTFRB on how much subsidy will operators or drivers will receive. Meanwhile, to some passengers, the discounted fare will be beneficial.
Mas okay po yun para mas less po ng pamasahe araw-araw. Pandagdag na rin po sa allowance araw-araw. Kasi katulad po namin nagtatrabaho para may dagdag pa ulit sa allowance namin.
Bilang estudyante, makakatulong po yung pagbaba sa 9 pesos, discount yung makakatipid po kami sa pamasahe. 3 pesos, pwede po yun pang ipon sa sa pagbili namin ng mga requirements.
JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippines Weather Agency announced the increasing possibility of El Nino that could start in mid of this year. Various government agencies prepare for its impact, especially to water supply. Ray Pelayo will tell us why.
The La Nina phenomenon has just ended according to the Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration or PAGASA. Until June, expect a neutral condition of rainfall in most parts of the country. But PAGASA predicts that El Nino condition may start to exist by mid-2023.
Once na pumasok naman yung inasa nating El Nino during the second half of this year, may tendency naman na mas maging konti yung marireceive na paulan sa iba't ibang bahagi ng ating bansa.
The number of tropical cyclones that may be formed could also be affected.
O isa yun sa factor kung bakit yung pag-ulan ay hindi ganun karami during the El Nino years, no? Kasi ang tendency, bagamat mabubuo sa loob ng PAR or sa loob ng ating air responsibility, may tendency na hindi po mag-landfall.
The National Water Resources Board or NWRB assures the sufficient water supply in the country. The water level of Angat Dam is 20 meters higher compared to the minimum operating level according to NWRB Director Sevilla David Jr. But the agency is appealing to the public to still conserve water to prevent the possible scenario.
Wala natin ma-monitor yan kasi baka po maka-apekto rin yan dito po sa mga watershed natin, particular po ito sa watershed sa Angat.
The Metropolitan Water Works and Sewerage System or MWSS noted that water concessionaires continue in tracing and repairing leaks of their pipelines to minimize wastage.
Ang pag-iusap natin sa mga consumers, kung meron silang nakikita mga signs po na leakage o kaya mga suspected illegal connection, baka marami pong i-report din sa amin para makatulong din po sa amin para po mabawasan po natin yung mga nawawalan po sa sistema natin.
PAGASA also informed the Department of Agriculture to prepare farmers for the expected impact of El Nino to food production. Ray Pelayo, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Flash floods caused by torrential rains hit two Turkish provinces that were previously devastated by the last month's catastrophic earthquake in southern Turkey, according to media reports. Based on the reports, at least 10 people living in tents and containers set up across Turkey's quake-hit southeast area on March 15, particularly in Malatya, Sanliurfa, and Adıyaman. Meanwhile, the Philippine Embassy in Turkey said no report of Filipinos affected by the floods in the cities of Adıyaman and Sanliurfa. But the embassy assures that they are continuously monitoring the situation of Filipinos in the area. The Department of Foreign Affairs also reassures that the government is ready to provide assistance in case there were Filipinos affected by the calamities in Turkey.
South Korea's Yoon Suk-yeol arrived in Tokyo today, March 16, the first trip to Japan by a South Korean president in 12 years. Nerissa Dando tells us why.
The meeting between the South Korean and Japanese leaders aims to present a united front amidst increasing threats from North Korea and China. It also took place only a few hours after North Korea fired its fourth intercontinental ballistic missile in less than a year. The two leaders will discuss regional security and cooperation to secure supply chain, with President Yoon calling North Korea's threats and supply chain disruptions a polycrisis. President Yoon is seeking a closer relationship with Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida and to leave behind the years of animosity between the two countries, which arose from Japan's occupation of the Korean Peninsula from 1910 to 1945. A Japanese government source also suggests that Tokyo and Seoul will be reviving shuttle diplomacy of regular visits between the two leaders, but Japan is still remaining cautious about immediate improvements in relations. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Kishida welcomed South Korea's labor compensation announcement last week and hopes to boost relations through Mr. Yoon's visit. Nerissa Dando, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Gianna Pravado, live from London, United Kingdom. Good evening.
A senator wants to regulate checkpoints to stop the alleged discrimination of motorcycle riders. According to Senator Tulfo, who filed Senate Bill 1977, Checkpoints should be regulated to stop several police personnel who deliberately set up checkpoints to harass and extort money from riders. Under the bill, the lawmaker says the guidelines for checkpoints must be implemented uniformly for all motor vehicles. Tulfo noted that the plain view doctrine must be observed in the conduct of inspection of all vehicles during a routine checkpoint, adding that police officers can only demand to see the motor vehicle operator's license and registration if they observed any traffic violation.
Assassinated Negros Oriental Governor Romualdez has been finally laid to rest in their private cemetery inside the Degamo residence in Barangay Bunawan, Siaton this afternoon, March 16. Thousands of supporters and relatives attended the burial. Malacanang has also declared March 16 as a special non-working holiday in the whole province to allow people to mourn for their governor. More than 10 buses have been deployed to transport residents who attended the burial, while others attended through the Facebook Live feed of the province. Security were also strict until the end of the program. Supporters and relatives wear Justice for Romualdez t-shirts to air their sentiments. They were hoping for swift justice of their beloved governor.
Masakit. Dahil nawala na yung namin. Yung ama namin dito sa Negros. Masakit siya. Hindi matanggap ba? Hindi katanggap-tanggap. Sana madakpan siya para makamit namin ng hustisya ba. Dahil napakasakit. Lahat ng tao dito sa Negros, siya ang kailangan.
Mahal na mo si Gob kasi mabait si Gob. Mabait si Gob, marami siyang natulungan na tao sa probinsya namin. Kaya na-emotional ako. Manghinaot lang ko nga mahatagag hustisya ang kamatayon sa among amahan sa probinsya.
Meanwhile, the governor's family wore black t-shirts. Pamplona Mayor Janice Digamo, the governor's widow, got emotional at her husband's funeral.
Abi ninyo, nasubo gyud kaayo kung naghuna-huna sa nangaging mga adlaw. How could something so violent happen to someone so peaceful? Mura man good og it goes against sa mga atong gituuhan nga angay natong buhaton harong dili mahitabo nato. Pero di gyud nako kalikayan nga moingon gyud kung bali pud rong unfair daghan ka dito. Nganong wala man na nangamatay ng maldito? Ruel have always been peaceful and would always choose peace. How can something so violent happen to someone so peaceful? Ang inyong outpouring of love and support for the governor has become our source of strength, our source of hope to battle so that we could find and give justice for the governor. Nakasabot gyud kaayo ko nga dunag yoy hustisya ang kalangitan. Pero baton og dili ra pud dako kaayong butang ang pagpangita sa hustisya nga naa sa yuta.
The Digamo family are thankful for the support that they received from the public. They were seeking for the arrest of Teves and for the conduct of Senate inquiry on previous killings in the province. Our kasangbahay, as the world faces these trying times amid the pandemic caused by coronavirus, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of Acts, chapter 24, verse 16, it says, "And herein do I exercise myself, to have always a conscience void of offense toward God and toward men." And those are the reasons behind the news, March 16, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold. I am Hardin Delgado.
And because we need to know, we will always ask why. I am William Theo. We serve the people. We give glory to God.